Hi everyone, this is Ken Bay. I've been in the industries for such a long time right now. I felt that this is a good time to introduce you a great projects. A projects that I've used that at this time where Asians are going through an explosive growth in economy. Now I'm standing here, standing in the ground of Vietnam. It's such a booming economy. And I felt that I got a feeling that everyone is now sitting back and thinking of how do I going to get rich? How do I going to get into some kind of project that I can trust and it's going to be something disruptive for me to be able to become rich in this case, no? And of course, money is everything, but not everything is money. We wanted to be able to create, and I want to be able to create a program that is a very well balanced business model for you all to consider. Now, to start with, like I say, the 6 Gens actually comprises of three parts, and the first part is what we call the build phase. Now, in the build, we wanted to focus on the biotech industries. Now, this is where the call is. We needed to have a really, really disruptive strategy where it is simple, it is easy for you to get into it, and for your customers to consider, and for your customers to look at it and say, look here, wow, this is really cool. This is something that I would use it for everyone in my family or people that I could provide welfare, especially in the business. Now, what do I mean by this? So we all know that we did a study that in 2018, now the the health wellness industries, we call that personal health care and medicines, it chalk up about 575 billions of business. Now, the other sectors that we are looking at is the beauty care sectors that has got like 1,083 billions of business turnover. Now, this is the sectors that in our build process we want to focus in. Now, how are we going to disrupt? That's the next questions we ask. Now, we did a research and we found out that actually this DNA thing is going to be a really big thing. Now, as the informations are easily available everywhere because of Google, like each time we get a fever, we probably Googles and find out am I having fevers and all that. And then when we pay a visit to the doctors, we actually expect, or probably because of the knowledge that we have in our condition, we expect the doctors to be able to prescribe something that is really personalized to our body conditions at that time when we see the doctors for. Now, we felt that this is an amazing change of how people are beginning to look for something beyond just normal, you know. We know that a lot of the salesmen come to us and try to show us testimonials of other people when we buy health supplement or skincare. But the fact remains is that that particular skincare product or health supplement might be good for some people. The question is, will it be suitable for me? So in this case, what we do is that we use a DNA strategies, a DNA profiling. And DNA is something that I felt that we all know it, but we just felt that DNA is something or we know that DNA is something that would just check whether that kid belongs to me or not. Now, DNA is something that is inherent in us, and there are so many kinds of genes in us. Now, so what we do is that we work with a Japanese partner. You know how credible Japanese are, you know. So this Japanese lab provide us with two very interesting patents that we would be able to build on. The first one is what we call the obesity's DNAs. Now, what it does is this: that all you need to do is swap salivas, and we will send it to the Japanese, for them to run a test in the labs, and then they will revert to us with 4 different profiles. The first profiles is our metabolisms towards the sugars. We call it the apples. Now, meaning to say is that when you do a DNA with us on obesity DNAs. So we're going to tell you, says that, look here, if you have got the APA profiles, means that your body uh, has got this whole metabolisms towards sugars. You know, sometimes when we take sugars, we get into diabetes pretty quickly. Sometimes we get fat and so on. So that genes actually is really, really important. And the second one is what we call the pair. The pair is our metabolisms towards the fat. The banana is towards the proteins, and of course orange is where you are okay, you know. So what we then do is this, that with the 4 profiles from the obesity DNA, we actually match it with the products. Now these products, we work with a groups of Singapore researchers where they produce a lot of amazingly good products for companies. All right. So what we do is that we get them to do to run a research that if you have Apple profiles, we wanted to be able to match it with health supplements. And our focus on health supplement is about meal replacement, right? We know that what goes in, what goes out, it is important. And if we can skip a meal just to do a meal replacement, is going to be really good, because whatever you take is actually matched along with your DNA. Now, the second DNA that we're going to bring in is what we call the skin DNA. I tell you that in Asia, especially in the tropical part of us, is that like right now in Vietnam is just so polluted because of the massive traffic that's going around. And you know, our skin's response to the sun, to the ultraviolet, and then some of us that are getting old, we are worried about aging, and the collagens are disappearing. So sometimes we are wondering what would be the best kind of skincare or supplement that we got to do. Now in this case, this DNA does the same thing. It actually identify in 4 different kind of skins, and we 6Gen together with the Singapore partners will match a skincare products or a supplement alongside with the profiles that you are having. Now remember this, you just need to do DNA assessment once in your life, because this is something that inherently you, and you cannot change it. Now, so having this in mind, this is what we want to do. We wanted everyone that would join us to be able to market this to the mass market. We know that in the whole populations today, 1% is a super healthy ones. Now, the 20% are probably quite unhealthy. They have got to see a doctor for reasons and other. But the key is this, that 79% of the market today is a massive market where they are all, or we all are trying to stay healthy, stay younger, and live longer in this case. So in our case, the build phase in the biotechnology with the DNAs, matching the products with meal replacements and skin cares will be definitely a very disruptive strategy for the market that made up of 79% of the populations today. Now, having to say this, 6Gen offer products, as you can see, supplements products, skin cares, and so on. The services that we have is to work with a Japanese to provide DNA profiling. And the next things that we are really trying to build on, and we wanted everyone to go through, is a naturopathic ways of detoxing yourself. We work with quite few amazing doctors that already been curing people through detox. We felt that actually, why can't we bring the detox program to the mass market, follow up by our DNA programs, and together with matching with supplements and skincare products. In this case, we felt that it's going to be something that everyone look at it and find so easy to sell and to buy, because whatever it is you. It is your genetic profiles. Now, so what we do is this, that because of what we have built, we would have obtained many profiles, like genetic profiles and all, and we would have also obtained some of the informations personally and And with this, what we do is that 6th wanted to go into the big data business. Now, you know that actually from big data, machine learning, AI is something that what we call the technology 4.0. So with this in mind, 6th wanted to go into the big data business. And what we're going to do to help the members to be able to benefit from what we do is to be able to mount all of your personal data and records into the blockchain technology. Now, with the blockchain technology, every one of us understand what, I mean, by now would have appreciated how blockchain has disrupted the market. We all know that this whole Bitcoin thing that has disrupted the market based on money transfer challenges, building on such technologies, has actually turned the world around. The whole world are trying to find a way to take advantage of blockchain technology so that they can become even more competitive in the future. Now, so what we do is the same thing. Whatever record that we put up from our customers, we will be able to, through the blockchain, all right, decentralize to you so that you can use it anytime, anywhere. So in this case, what we do is that because we're building up a blockchain, obviously we also has and tokens that comes along with it. Now, I believe that the next big thing to come in the blockchains is the cryptocurrencies. Now, I feel that there's still a lot of potential in the utility tokens, and that's exactly what we do. We built the bricks and mortar business from DNAs to the health supplements and so on. And then what we do is that we mount it into the data onto the blockchain and we create the tokens out of it. Now, once we have the utility tokens, all the members that are involved in this whole community would be able to use the tokens to buy our products and services. And that's the whole idea of a good utility tokens today. Utility tokens today must be able to be valued, meaning to say is that if you are using it, you know that there are many products and services to use for. If you are investing into such a business, because most company uses these strategies to be able to raise funds to develop their products and services, and at the same time technologies. So if you believe in such a business, that's going to be the next big thing, especially what we are doing today, 6th, you could also invest into helping us to have this products and service development fund to expound on this whole concepts of the products and services that we are building. Now, so what we do is that we going to use really exciting strategies. You know, I spent like 30 years in the financial services and investment, and I know that for cryptocurrencies and be able to do it in the right way to ensure that we protect in our investors' money and to make sure that there is a really good tokens that would be used because we have created a commerce in 6th, we developed a strategy or a program called the Composite Index. Now, we all understand the Composite Index like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. In my case, I'm from Singapore, we call it the STI, and in Vietnam, we call it the VSI. So what Composite Index does is that they uses many variances. In this case, let's take an example by S&P 500. It is comprises of this whole 500 companies that will actually push the index ups and down according to the stock price. In our case, CIX tokens, or we call it CIX utility tokens, what it is that it also runs along with a composite index that we develop. What is the variance of those composite? First is revenue. Now, we focus on a revenue model. We focus on a revenue business, and we wanted to do extremely well with our DNA, with our detox services and the product. Now, what we do is that whenever we generate a lot of revenues, What it means is that it will also pushes the composite index upward. And this composite index is tagged to the price of our CIX token. Now, which means that everything that you look for in a utility token, in our case, is tagged to the revenue of our business. All right. So the second variance that we use is actually membership. We all know that a blockchain, a tokens, or cryptocurrency or digital currency is actually, it is all about a community, groups of people coming together and use the tokens or the digital currencies for the products and services. Now, we found that one of the very important variants to that will affect the price of our token is the numbers of members that are forming in this community and agree to use a common currency, digital currencies to buy and sell their stuff. So the second one is the membership. The third one is what we call the utility. As we have gone into the first phase of launching our CIX token, we started to have many of these people that has got the confidence of adopting these digital currencies has now started buying in. So what it means is this, that the utility has slowly be vary. Now we have also started allowing people to sort of sell their products and services with CIX token, as well as our own products and services as well. So in this case, what we do is that we look at the turnover of how much in values that CIX token is generating. In this case, in the dollar values, it will also affect the composite very directly. Now, in this case, it will also vary our CXU price in this case. Now, the last variance that we have is what we call the valuations of the company. Now, we all know that you want to build a company, there must be investor coming in. There must be people that are getting more excited and more interested in what we do. So every effects of people coming in and invest in my business or in our business called SigChain would also mean that the variance will also keep varying the price of our token. Now, that makes the utility token be able to values. Now today we all know that we have seen a lot of cryptocurrency. There's no ideas and there is no transparency and predictabilities that we are able to vary or values the token price because of the lack of informations, and many of them obviously it's not really a clean one. In our case, we are very clear the price of our tokens vary according to the true business activity we have, and that is really important. And myself and my team has been in the crypto advisory and exchange business for a while now. From the forex to the crypto exchanges, we wanted to build an exchange that holds the composite index, and we wanted to be the first companies in the world to be able to use composite index in an exchange. In our case, we pride ourselves in wanting to be the first crypto self-regulated crypto exchange that anyone that would look at this company called SigChain will know that any tokens that are in the exchange has got a revenue model, has got good memberships, and has got good utility, and some of them might just even extend to other variances. They will probably need our expertise to organize them and put them into this exchange. So we are in the fintech, in the technology 4.0, a companies that will build an exchange platform and host one of the best cryptos that are emerging cryptos in the world. And we believe that by doing this right, we will attract many good companies to come on board. In this case, it will provide this exchange, we call it SigChain, an opportunity to have liquidity, and liquidity is so important here. And in order to have a liquidity, we need to have a trading communities, and we believe that starting with build, with all the focus on building a real business and offering utility to the tokens with an exchange, we wanted to build strong community that will give us the liquidities and the interest for our token. Now, so what we're going to do, so what we do is that we feel that in the next 3 years to come, we wanted to win it in the fintech. We wanted to be able to win it in technology 4.0. We want to be able to win it in an exchange model, because I feel that today in the exchanges in the world, most of the exchanges host about at least more than 80% from the top 20 tokens, meaning to say is that most of the small tokens that go into such exchanges, whether they are big or they are small, they are likely to pump because they have promised all the investors that the price will be of such without proven business strategies or business model. Now, so most of them will pump because they make promises to the investors. Then they will dump. They dump because some of them has got to take out their money, leaving those last out the one to suffer. So eventually the token die because technically there's really no liquidity, because most of the liquidity in most exchanges focus on the top 20 cryptocurrencies. So what it means, it really means that the whole ideas of putting our tokens into a public exchange may please certain thing, but ultimately it will die, because most companies use their own collections of Bitcoin or their reserve to pump the price of the utility. Then they will dump it and eventually leave it alone on a natural death. So it's just unfortunate. It is consequently most of the investors will lose their money in this case. Now, 6 chain is not going to go that way. We're going to slowly cultivate a very, very strong exchange, because we have got very strong utility model. We have got very strong commerce, because we know that the biotech industry is going to be a very big industry in the coming years. So what we then do is that we understand that the literacies of technology 4.0 in the markets are still very low. So what we do is that we develop a business model called Talentech 6.0. Now this Talentech 6.0 focus everything on personal and development training. So in short, we have Talentech 6.0 is a training academy that will provide you with all the financial and investment knowledge, so that you will not run into the problems of making wrong decisions to put your money into somewhere that you might lose. So especially very important, we all must understand that cryptocurrency is really at the introduction stage. It's still, although it is a really high risk asset, it could also mean very high returns. Now, so it is so important, and I always emphasize that if you don't know, don't try to be investors, because at the end of the day, you will lose it all. So what we are trying to do in Talentech 6.0 is to provide an individual with knowledge, so that they can make sure that they understand what they are getting into, so that they won't get burned in this case. Now, knowledge is everything today, and we found that there's a huge opportunity to provide the right knowledge to the general public, so that they can make their decision in a most prudent way. In our case, more so because in my business model, we have this fintech, we have this model where we wanted to make sure that people that use our utility coin really understand what is utility, really understand what is this whole liquidities of the market that's needed in our exchange, so that we could survive and we could be able to position our business for the long term. Now, Talentech 6.0 aims to provide health, financial, and also sales and marketing knowledge to you, to ensure that your performance is always at the highest level that you could if you are in this whole ecosystems of 6gen. Now, so in this case, I really wanted to invite all of you all to come and join us, or to try to understand, or to participate in our Talentech 6.0 training program. Because you know what? Our mission is to ensure that we give you the right knowledge, all right, so that you can make the right decisions for your future. Let it be the career, let it be some investments idea, let it be learning because you wanted to gather more knowledge. And then the most important thing in the fix of everything, it is the whole ideas of building a career or a business with 6th Gen. Now, it is really also very important for me to tell you that, look here, this particular video is not aimed to get you to invest, because you got to be really informed before, or you got to know what you're doing before you make any decision. You should approach somebody that is specialized in giving you the right advice. And I know that if you spend time with Talentech 6.0, you will get all the information, the knowledge that you need. And this is what 6th Gen is going to be about. And this is what this exciting business model is going to be is about. And I hope that you can join us. Thank you very much.